And we are live. How you doing today, John?
Good. Happy New Year, Craig.
Happy New Year to you, my friend. You're just telling me about, I believe, 11, 14 terabyte drives?
No, four
Or,
14 terabyte.
sorry,
Yeah.
I was
They
four
got a good
14.
deal on Best Buy, and Best Buy is not sponsoring this. I think they're 260 a drive right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Really
that's
nice.
kind of what I was getting at when we were chatting is like, well, if there's such a great deal, I didn't get a text about it. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We might as well jump into it. We got a lot to
Yep.
talk about today. Welcome back to Silicon Scoop, everyone. There's a lot going on, and you may be living under a rock, so you might not have heard about this. Honey, whether it's a sweet deal or just sugar-coated lies. Hey, hey, savvy shoppers. Have you ever wondered if Honey, the discount app, your trusty online shopping companion, is as sweet as it claims? With users' complaints rising like prices on Black Friday, it might be time to dig into the sticky truth behind the savings tool. Spoiler alert, it's not just about saving pennies, it's about protecting your hard-earned cash from potential scams. So have you read about this
Yeah.
Honey scam?
Yeah, I actually saw a video of it like as it was happening. They were showing a demo, and so this is crazy. So for those of you that don't know, this is it's a popular browser extension which is owned by PayPal. And so what they've been accused of is some deceptive practices that hijacked affiliate links. And I actually saw this happen. I don't know if it was doctored, but what happened was, so you would click on a link, and so the way affiliate links work is when you buy something, that person's affiliate link, they get paid for that. What was happening was, or still happening, I don't know, is that Honey was changing the affiliate link payout back to PayPal so that they didn't have to pay any affiliate commissions.
Yeah. So YouTuber Megalev alleges that Honey engages in deceptive practices, misleading consumers, and harming influencers. And Honey is accused of prioritizing its own coupon codes over better available discount codes. So the extension allegedly replaces influencer affiliate links with its own, diverting commission. So let's take a look at the overall thing. Sounds on the surface, hey, Honey finds the best discounts for you and applies them to whatever you're doing at checkout, those coupons, so you don't have to search for yourselves. Sounds great. The problem is it's a scam, or it appears to be a scam.
Yeah.
And like you said, how about affiliate work? So affiliate links work as the last person who I click on that link, and the last affiliate link I clicked on before purchase is the one who gets commission. So Honey was paying YouTubers to promote Honey, which they thought was a great idea, not understanding that they would steal their commissions as well. You click on using Honey, you click on an affiliate link of a YouTuber, you go to the website to purchase, and you put in a different coupon, or even if you didn't put in a different coupon, it doesn't really matter. At time of purchase, Honey would flip the discount affiliate link, so it would get the revenue rather than affiliate or whoever drove you to the site. So, which was undisclosed to everybody, because many of these YouTubers get most of their commission off affiliate links, and they would have thought twice about doing this.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they work deals with partnerships to with companies that sell products to say, hey, we'll put your discounts on our platform. And you say, well, why would anyone want to do that? They're going to apply these coupon codes to their products and give them way more discounts than you think. Well, actually, no. If I pay Honey, what happens is I get to choose the maximum level of discount code. I get to choose all those things I get to apply. And even if you go out and find a discount code that's deeper, Honey will not add that to its database. And so no one else will ever see it. So it's one of those things that not only is it not finding the biggest discounts, it's finding you and only surfacing discounts that are approved by its sponsor. So you're only going to get the stuff that's approved, not the stuff that's the best. So people aren't eating their own lunch, and they're not updating their database with bigger databases. So they've been scamming everyone all along.
Yeah, so now there's a lawsuit, which obviously, surprise, surprise, not surprised. But Craig, have you ever used Honey? I don't think I've ever used Honey. Have you ever used it? I've seen it, but I'm not a big fan of extensions.
I've used it a few times. I remember using it for a while, and then I stopped using it because I found half the coupons still didn't work. Like that was the thing about Honey, was it stopped you from searching the internet for coupon codes and finding all these sites, and none of these stupid coupon codes work. Honey would ideally find them for you, but after a while they didn't. None of the coupon codes they use work. And it was just a pain, and it wasn't working with some sites, so I just got rid of it. But I had used it, and it seemed to work, and I didn't realize about these other things, and that's why sometimes when I found deeper discounts, I was wondering, why was this so easy to find? Yeah. So they're taking money out of your pocket, even though they're telling you they're giving you bigger discounts. They're taking money out of the YouTubers or affiliate people's pocket. And they're not telling anybody. And yeah, this is owned by PayPal. And yeah, there's a big lawsuit about this now.
Yeah, you know what one, and I don't mean to digress, but there's one that I love and I use it because what it does is it runs through a bunch. It's more discount codes, but it's from Capital One. It's called Capital One Shopping. And so when you're on a site and you're about to check out, this pop-up will be like, there's about 7 discount codes. Do you want us to try them? And then it'll run through them all and find which ones work. So I don't know if that one's any better, but but back to this. The thing with this is it just demonstrates the growing importance of independent tech journalism, because without it, we're not going to be uncovering this, and they're going to get away with this. And this just goes back to the terms of service, the all those things that with Adobe, with like all the ones with Disney, that we need to hold these companies accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to take a look at the people who started Honey started a new app. I was trying to find it. And they're back at doing a similar thing. So it's something we have to look out for, and we'll see. I think PayPal bought them for $4 billion. I think was the number.
Yeah.
And you can see why. And they're getting all that links, all that data, all that information from the shopping cart that you're entering, plus the discount. Like, it's just all in all, it's a major issue, and you should really be thinking about whether you want to continue using tools like this without checking.
Yeah. The other thing too, though, is the other thing that you should be looking at is what access are you giving these extensions? So like, you got to make sure that when you're installing any extension that you look at what permissions you're giving it. Just like when you're installing an app, what permissions are you giving it? Like, are you giving it access to your full browsing history? Are you giving it access to everything that you do? Most of these extensions do that. They do take full advantage, and they try to get access to as much as they can. So be careful when you're doing this. And this is crazy. So you were talking about the data that it brings in. Apparently, the extension claims to serve around 17 million active users monthly. So crazy.
Well, yeah, considering you click it to activate on your checkout page where you put in all your information, it has all of that, obviously, because it has to read the page, figure out what's going on. Yeah, so while no legal actions have hit Honey yet, consumer protection agencies are keeping a close eye. It sounds like there's a lawsuit incoming. I'm not sure if it's actually been launched, and no legal action because we haven't caught on the outside of it. It's only a matter of time before they weigh in on those suspicions.
Yeah.
And user complaints. So don't worry if you're feeling uneasy about committing to Honey. There are alternatives apparently out there like Rakuten and Retail Me Not. Now, we haven't done deep dives into those, but they seem to be decent alternatives. Stand ready to simplify your saving pursuits.
Yeah.
each boasting unique features. Rakuten does a real-time cash back offer that hits your wallet faster than a college student racing to the nearest coffee shop. But again, what data are you giving up?
Yeah, exactly.
So as we venture into the great unknown of online savings, let me ask you this. Is Honey a true sweet deal that deserves a permanent spot in your shopping toolkit, or is it just another online discount mirage, leaving you shaking your head over missed opportunities and unfulfilled savings? Your shopping cart, much like this conversation, is in your hands. What say you? Imagine a world where getting older doesn't mean getting slower, creakier, or less vibrant. What if you could not only slow the ticking clock of time, but maybe even reverse it? Buckle up, listeners, because we're diving into the groundbreaking research that dares to answer the question, can we really turn back the biological clock?
Yeah,
What's going on?
this is crazy. So this is a study that was conducted by researchers at Rockefeller University. And what they've done is they've provided a transformative view of the aging process by by analyzing over 21 million cells from mice at 5 different life stages. So what they've done is they've essentially created the largest cellular atlas of mammalian aging to date. And so it reveals that aging occurs in distinct stages marked by synchronized cellular changes across multiple organs, challenging the notion that aging is a gradual, continuous decline, which is interesting because I've been reading some things recently that there's certain years or certain stages where like you'll age rapidly at certain stages. So this kind of makes sense. It aligns with emerging perspectives on aging as a complex. It's a multifaceted process. And so there's other research that I found there was a study published in Nature that's also identified nonlinear dynamics in profiles of human aging. So it suggests that the aging process involves critical time windows where significant changes occur rather than a steady linear progression. So interesting, not surprising. But again, I love these studies that open up our understanding of life, if that makes sense. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the concept is really cool because you immediately start thinking at this and say, all right, this is a great breakthrough. So how do we extend certain windows, the biological markers that keep your body in certain aspect ranges? Because all of a sudden, though you may not be able to extend life overall, you might be able to delay that rapid aging process to as far as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and here's the thing: even though it's non-linear, I do think that there are anti-aging interventions that can be implemented or researched more to mitigate those milestones, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, what is aging in scientific lingo? It's a gradual decline of physiological function. Think of it as your body's out of warranty notification kicking in. But rather than just taking a trip to the repair shop, scientists are now trying to figure out if they can actually upgrade the parts. There are two key players in this game: the chronological aging, which is how long we've technically been kicking around on the planet, and biological aging, which is more about how old our cells feel. And spoiler alert, they can feel way older than our birth certificate suggests. So, what have you found out, if anything, on what are the things that age ourselves faster or
Yeah.
age ourselves less?
So one thing that you said though, based on this study, it's not a gradual process. That's what this study's saying, is that it's not gradual. It's kind of milestone, if that makes sense. So what they're saying is they're changing the understanding of the aging process, that it happens in distinct stages. So, sorry, what was your question though?
Agreed. I said aging overall is the gradual decline of physiological function. You can say it's spits and spurts decline of physiological function.
Yeah.
This science logic says that You know, it happens obviously at different stages, but aging overall is this thing. So I wasn't trying to countermand what you're saying. At the heart of this aging saga is cellular senescence. It sounds fancy, but think of a way as we age, some cells throw in the towel and stop functioning properly, kind of like the last bit of toothpaste you swear is almost gone, but miraculously dribbles out when you really need it. These senescent cells can wreak havoc by releasing inflammatory signals that impact nearby cells, leading to a cascade of health issues. Research published in Nature suggests that targeting these rogue cells could potentially improve our health span, the period of our lives spent in good health.
Yeah. The only concern I have, obviously, and you and I have discussed this, is that when we're talking about drug intervention or pharmaceutical intervention or unnatural intervention with this, I'm worried that the solution that the pharmaceutical companies will come up with will not solve the root cause. Rather, it'll just be a band-aid that you'll have to be dependent on this drug forever, kind of thing. Just like the thyroid drug. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, this has mRNA written all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, meaning these things don't last forever, and you got to keep applying them. And we talked about a technology, and it's been a while, that wasn't mRNA, but it was mRNA related, where it was way more permanent because it attached itself to the cell. I'd like to go back and take a look at that. But obviously, if it's way more permanent, it's not as profitable for the manufacturers than, say, something you need every 6 months or a year or so.
Yeah, for the rest of your life. Yeah. So I'm curious to see where this progresses as far as potential solutions. Like now we have a cellular atlas, right? That was previously thought to be impossible. So I'm curious to see and follow this in the future to see where that takes us.
Yeah, and can we find ways to delay or reprogramming the aging process?
Yeah, there is one drug or amino acid. I don't know what I'm calling it precisely, but it's NAD plus. Apparently, that is your best solution right now. And people are doing that. People are using IVs, and you can take it orally. But it has something to do with something with your body's natural. And I don't want to get into it too much, but that is one thing that apparently works. But I don't want to. I don't know. I haven't done my research on it, but that's one thing. When I was doing my research, that came up.
Yeah, and looking through all of this, that came up, and I didn't want to mention it just because I have no idea about it, but there are other things out there like senolytics that are promising class of drugs aimed at clearing out these pesky senescent cells. Like imagine a Zumba class, but for your cells, getting rid of the ones that you just don't want anymore, like getting rid of those fat cells. Exciting studies presented at Science Daily suggest a future where we might just age, but age productively and more gracefully.
Yeah.
So as we ponder the practical side of healthy aging, remember knowledge is power. Eating a balanced diet, staying active, nurturing mental health, and having regular health checkups might just be your personal fountain of youth. Yes, those green smoothies are your allies. Unless you're on the carnivore diet, then you think all plants are trying to kill you. That 30-minute jog could be your secret weapon against the Grim Reaper or of biological aging. So as we explore the brave new world of aging science, we can't help but ask, if we can slow or even reverse aging, what does that mean for our lives, our societies, and our understanding of what it means to grow old? Are we ready for a future where old is just a state of mind? Is 60 really going to be the new 40 at some point? That's how you feel. Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to envision that beautiful age-defying version of yourself.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. All right. Share this one instead. Imagine a world where energy is both abundant and safe, where nuclear power no longer incites fear of meltdown. Sounds more like sci-fi utopia, doesn't it? Well, buckle up, folks, because China is at the forefront of developing thorium molten-salt reactors, which may just redefine our understanding of nuclear energy. Now, we've talked about thorium reactors and we've talked about molten-salt reactors. I'm not 100% sure that we've talked about thorium molten-salt reactors, John.
No, I don't think we have. And we've talked about a lot of different nuclear technologies. And just to bring people back, this is fission technology, not fusion, I believe, from my research. Yeah, they're developing a thorium-based molten salt reactor technology, with which should be operational by 2030. So the cool thing is that the reactor's core will be 3 meters in height and 2.8 meters in diameter, and it's only going to be operating at 700 degrees C. So the thermal output is supposed to be 60 megawatts and an electrical output of 10 megawatts. So this is interesting because obviously thorium, or maybe not obviously to everyone, but thorium is a more plentiful than uranium. So this does provide a more sustainable fuel source. And using molten salt reactors, they're theoretically safer with lower risks of meltdown, and thorium fuel cycles can produce less long-lived radioactive waste. So it's interesting to see. There are some challenges, though, like the production of uranium-233 in the thorium fuel cycle. It poses weapons proliferation concerns. There are still some hurdles, like dealing with the highly corrosive molten salts in ensuring long-term material integrity. Now, after reading all this, I'm starting and feel free to correct me, Craig, I'm starting to think that this technology, although using a more abundant metal like thorium, is better. I feel like we're going backwards as far as the nuclear waste output. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, you could say we're going backwards about output, but thorium reactors, let me just read this, to inherited safety features to include passive cooling system, prevent meltdowns. I thought they you could input their output. Thorium reactors could influence global nuclear policy. It's more abundant. Aim to align. I'll have to take a look at that while we're chatting, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't, thorium reactors have potential to utilize nuclear waste as fuel. There you go, reducing long-term waste issues. So
Okay.
the output can go back into it, but at the same time, nefarious people could be taking a small percentage of that off and shuffling off to who knows where for nuclear weapons if people were so inclined to do that, such a thing.
Yeah.
All right, this the concept is cool. I like to see this stuff happening.
Yeah.
So
this is cool. I don't know enough, and I don't know enough about the two technologies. I know that molten salt reactors are safer because of the salt in the water, but I don't know enough about the thorium with the molten salt. So we'll have to. I'm sure we'll revisit it in the future, but I'm curious to see. Again, this is out of China, so I hate to say it, but I don't really trust too much that comes out of their mouths when it comes to things. So we'll have to see if anyone else looks to develop this technology as well outside of China.
Well, here's the thing, I know why they're doing it in China, and it's because of rules and regulations. And Bill Gates was talking about this years and years ago. He was working with China to build his nuclear reactor that he wanted to build, whatever generation it was. And he was looking at China because their government doesn't change every 4 years. That means regulatory policy, one government's for nuclear and one isn't. And you're talking about investing billions of dollars over, say, a 20-year period to build this. And the government can change so many times and kill your investment like that. That's why it doesn't happen here. And that's why people like governments like China will have an advantage on us for that. So hopefully we can get past some of that and maybe, move ahead and get some consensus across the board in North America that says, let's move to safe nuclears. Let's do some sort of standardization. And let's get all sides to agree that this is the way forward to clean energy.
Yeah, let's hope so. And again, I'm hoping that fusion takes over, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Fusion's a long way off, but they're getting closer and closer. I keep seeing all these different articles about these different achievements, and it's a lot for us to cover. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot for us to cover. Hey, Ben, thanks for watching. So decentralization is the solution. I'm unfortunately not sure what the comment is referring to because I saw this kind of late when it came in, but thanks for watching. Of course, innovation isn't without its hitches when you're talking about this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
China's forging ahead relentlessly with this tech. Their TMSR LF1 prototype has successfully completed its operational tests. Proof of concept is key. And the collaboration between government and industry is like a high-stakes partnership. So the problem with China is China owns most of the industry, so they can just tell them what to do most of the time. So this could reshape the energy landscape. The problem, obviously, is as hostilities in the world crank up, that we have potential more conflicts and tariffs and secrecy between China and the rest of the world. So even if they move forward faster, I'm not sure how much of the information will come out. So as we watch China pioneer this nuclear renaissance, it begs the question, could thorium molten-salt reactors be the key to unlocking a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable energy future for us all? Or will the world remain stuck in its frigid embrace of fossil fuels and traditional nuclear fears? What do you think? Oh, you're going to like this one.
Yeah. Love this one.
Imagine. Go ahead. Yeah. I'll start and I'll throw it over to you. Hang on. Imagine strolling through a bustling cityscape, your trusty Ray-Ban shades just blocking out the sun, but also painting a digital world right into your retina. Sounds like a sci-fi dream, right? Well, buckle up, tech aficionados. In 2025, Ray-Ban is set to launch smart glasses that do just that. But here's $1 million question. Are these futuristic specs a groundbreaking transformation, or are they just a shiny distraction with screens on your glasses that are going to make more people walk out into traffic?
So first off, I'm curious to see how they're going to do the smart glasses. So there's two ways that they could do it. One is embedding a display into the glass itself. Like there is a new set of specs out there. I can't remember the name of them, that embed it into the glass itself so that it doesn't block your field of view. But the other ones, like the X-Real Air 2 Pros and those have actual screens. So I'm curious to know whether or not how they're going to approach it. It's not groundbreaking, but it is super cool. I'm still debating on whether or not to get a pair of these, not these ones, but the X-Real glasses. Essentially, you get two 1080p things, and you got monochromatic lenses as well. But yeah, this is cool because those glasses, the X-Real, they don't have cameras on that are outward facing. So if Meta, the Ray-Ban glasses, if they take what they currently have with the cameras and integrate screens, there's a lot more options available as far as features that they could implement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they can implement, and these things are cheap. Right now, they start at $300 and up. Yeah. I mean, cheap relative in nature. And Ray-Ban and Meta, they plan on replacing the goal is to replace your cell phone. And we'll have to see how that goes. And this is Meta's Orion prototype aims to provide a more immersive AR experience with its in-lens holographic projectors. So these are in the lens, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see exactly how see-through it is. Do you have to refocus, like from a heads-up display type of point of view? I would assume it's mostly see-through, so you can just kind of see through it, and it's like there. The problem becomes is, do you have to continuously refocus your focal point distance to close, or is it natural? Because that would probably cause more eye strain than you would think. The glasses feature picture snapping, video recording, music playback, and AI assistant queries. Meta's Reality Lab division is responsible for these projects. They've sold over 1 million of these already, by the way, the current version that's out now. And Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses are part of its strategy to lead the wearable tech market. Now, I guess the question is, these look interesting. My first question is, John, are you going to run out and grab a pair?
Depending. Depending on price, depending on battery life, depending on features. There's a bunch of things. And this is why I haven't and resolution too. There's a lot of factors. I've done a lot of research on these. I almost did buy a pair. I think it was the Vitors or I can't remember, or the Rayneos. But I haven't bit the bullet yet because I feel like there's going to be I like to call it a TSN turning point, where they'll get to a point where it's like, okay, now it's worth it to buy, if that makes sense. What about you, Craig? What are your thoughts? Are you gonna get one of these?
I don't think so. I think I get enough distractions in my life. The glasses will provide real-time notifications, translations, and AI-powered assistance directly in the user's line of sight.
Yeah.
Over 1 million.
So that's cool. This will be, we're almost getting to that point where you don't need, where they hacked the Ray-Bans to give you real-time data on people. Yep. That will be integrated into the glasses. Then I'll buy them.
Yeah, and they look really cool, and I'm curious as to what Apple glasses are looking at, and a couple of other smart glasses that are coming out. Do we really need notifications in our glasses? Do we really need to be this distracted? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I like the fact what you dream about, which is something that enhances our life rather than takes away from it. When you walk in the room, it recognizes people, tags them, allows you to follow them on LinkedIn or send them a message or something like that. Because that obviously is great, because if you walk into a networking event like Startup Investor Drinks, go to startupdrinksto.com for your tickets. And you're looking around the room and you see an investor you want to connect with, and it recognizes their LinkedIn account, and you can follow them and send them a message right there. Say, hey, I send this person a message saying it was great to talk to you at Startup Investor Drinks, and send them my Tidy Cow link to book an appointment for lunch next week. And you can do that right there in 3 seconds rather than having to think about it the next day.
Yeah, true.
So that kind of stuff is great. But, we are really living in this world of privacy. We talked about that Meta hack before and how it was so easy for people to identify these things. And I don't want to bring the conversation down, but the videos have come out about the bomber using these to drive around New Orleans and taking videos of what was going on. So I'm curious as to,
No, I think those are the FPV drones. So they have special glasses that connect to drones, the first person view.
That could be the case of what I was told. He was using the Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
While he was riding his bike around the city. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Anybody can have a pair of these glasses. Anybody could ride a bike around the city. I just think now you're starting to use this stuff as, you start thinking, okay, well, is there military applications? Is there other things? And from a privacy and security point of view, do we really need to be concerned that these are being let out into the wild?
Yeah.
So fear not, fashion lovers. Ray-Ban's alliance with tech giants like Meta adds layers of innovation while ensuring they maintain style, a crucial factor for those looking to TikTok their way to the future. It's a smart move that marries practicality with appearances, serving the best of both worlds. Looking beyond the glittering promises of 2025, we see the future of smart glasses glimmering with integrated AR and VR capabilities. Yet, as exciting as these advancements sound, they usher in a new slew of privacy issues. Because if your shades are reporting data back to the mothership, can you really trust them not to catch those embarrassing moments? As we anticipate Ray-Ban's leap into the future of eyewear, let's pause to ponder. When we strap on these smart spectacles, will we enhance our lives or just enhance our ability to scroll endlessly through an overload of content? As we step into this new era, let's remember the most important connection might just be the one with the people standing right in front of you. What do you think? Are you ready to trade your shades for screens, or do you prefer the nostalgia of good old non-smart frames? Let us know. So were you reading about this one, John?
Yeah, this is a Kevin O'Leary back project, eh?
Absolutely. I watched some videos on this. This is cool. Let me jump into it.
Yep.
Imagine a powerhouse of artificial intelligence rising from the prairies of Alberta, a $70 billion bet that promises to reshape the economic landscape and place the province at the heart of AI innovation. Is Alberta on the verge of becoming the next Silicon Valley, or is this just a high-tech mirage?
Yeah, so this is cool. So the locations within the Greenview Industrial Gateway, which is south and east of Grand Prairie, and it's a collaboration between the Municipal District of Greenview and Kevin O'Leary Ventures. Apparently, the project's going to span thousands of acres, and it's going to make it the largest AI data center industrial park globally. Crazy. Like, that is absolutely nuts. So the total investment, obviously, we talked about is going to be about $70 billion. It's estimated to create between 3,000 to 5,000 jobs during construction and about 1,000 ongoing positions, which is really cool. There's all these other things that are going to happen. There's going to be some infrastructure development, like upgrades to Highway 40, some energy innovation. So apparently it's going to use off-grid natural gas and geothermal power infrastructure, which is cool. So this is really cool. I like this. I like that Alberta is investing in this. My only question is, why are people focusing on, because data centers, like they produce a lot of heat. Why not go a little bit further into the Northwest Territories where it's even colder?
Well, this is actually northern Alberta. In fact, one of the things is the cold temperatures. The one of the founders of the people built it all was saying one of the reasons they chose there is because of how cold the temperatures is. It's great for data centers, so it's obviously cold enough.
Yeah.
And a lot of those highway upgrades have been done already. The
Okay.
facilities, they got the water rights that they need, and all that's plugged in and done already. There's some amazing stuff. So Kevin O'Leary is running around looking for funding and looking for people to go there. And it's funny watching him talk. We were just talking about nuclear and thorium and other things. Yeah. That is the future. The problem is it 20 years, 50 years? You know, people are trying to figure out the path to get there when we really need the power for this now. And we can power it with the trillions of cubic meters of natural gas that are under Alberta. They've got cleaner ways of dealing with it. They pipe it right through there. It's the cheapest energy for any of these companies to use. So it's really, really attractive for the next 20 to 50 years.
It definitely is. So let's the thing is obviously Alberta is big oil country, right? We've got the oil sands. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be any influence on that, as far as any pushback, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if there'd be pushback just because, you know, what's the difference between oil and natural gas, if that's what you mean?
True. Yeah.
I mean, it's pump it out of the ground. It's a natural resource. I guess one could say use us versus the other, but natural gas is much cleaner.
It is
in general.
Yeah.
The investment is likely to sprinkle magic tech dust across the province, expecting to create thousands of jobs ranging from top-notch AI engineers to those essential construction roles, which many would argue are just as critical when setting the groundwork. So, if you're looking for a local career pivot, take a look at this. This might be your golden ticket. Community engagement will also be key because local populace needs to be on board, ensuring that this tech revolution doesn't inadvertently trample over the needs of those who've called Alberta their home for generations and generations.
Yeah.
So
This is. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, this will be interesting. I'm glad that we're taking we're taking such a strong stance in AI, and hopefully this doesn't get overshadowed by something big in the US being developed. I'm hoping that this obviously the way tech is evolving and things are. I hope we get our chance to shine.
Yeah, I hope we get a chance to shine on the global stage because this AI endeavor could see Alberta strutting its stuff alongside other tech titans like Silicon Valley or Shenzhen. A recent study by McKinsey and Company highlighted the economic ripple effects of such an AI investment, projecting that AI could contribute $13 trillion to the global economy by 2030. Alberta wants a piece of that pie. Rightfully so. I hope Canada wises up. I hope Ontario thinks, hey, how do we join in here? So as we look toward the horizon, the future shines bright with possibility. This data center could catalyze advancements, not just in AI, but across sectors like healthcare, agriculture, education. Imagine AI-driven solutions addressing everything from crop yields to disease control. The partnerships that could flourish here between educational institutions and tech giants might just redefine what it means to innovate in the province. So will Alberta truly become the AI capital of the world? Only time will tell if this ambitious strategy will pay off. But one thing is certain, the foundations are being laid for a revolution that could change not just the province, but the global tech landscape. What innovations do you think will emerge from this ambitious project? Can community and corporate interests align to create a thriving ecosystem for everybody? The floor is open for all your predictions. Apple. Yeah, everyone thinks Apple is looking out for you. Turns out maybe not, eh?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Welcome back to Silicon Scoop, where today we got a juicy and rather concerning tale from the tech world. Imagine this, you're having a private conversation and suddenly your trusty Siri springs to life, not with helpful answers, but with an unexpected case of eavesdropping. Well, folks, Apple has found itself in hot water. Allegations of recording users without consent have come to life, and compensation is on the table. You may be owed money. Strap in. We're diving into this digital drama.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, John?
So, you know me, I don't like Apple. The only thing I like by them is their MacBook Pros, which are the best laptops I've ever used. I love them. So this is interesting. So Apple's agreed to pay. They've agreed to pay a $95 million lawsuit to settle that their virtual assistant Siri was eavesdropping on users without their consent. Now, the one thing to note, 95 million might sound like a lot, but think about the number of users of Apple devices that could potentially get. It's going to turn into like a couple dollars that everyone's going to get. So don't think that it's I'm gonna be making hundreds. I'm gonna get hundreds of dollars from Apple. No, you're gonna get a couple dollars. So the proposed settlement was filed in California federal court, and this is a 5-year-old lawsuit. Apparently. So we completely missed the boat, or I at least did, claiming that Apple activated Siri to record conversations through iPhones and other devices for over a decade, even when users didn't use the trigger phrase, "Hey Siri." So that's scary as hell. As part of the settlement, Apple has agreed to permanently delete individual Siri audio recordings collected before October 2019. My question is, what about after October 2019, or did they stop recording? So the thing is insights that from multiple sources that I was reading revealed that the settlement represents a small fraction of Apple's profits during this period, which was estimated at, get this, $705 billion with a B. So, like, this is like a drop in the bucket to them, and it's going to, like, very few people like are going to get any money from this, or a lot of people are going to get very little money from this. So, no, that's okay. It's also the settlement. It's also significantly less than the $1.5 billion that lawyers initially estimated Apple might have to pay if found guilty of violating this. So, yeah, this is like they're laughing. Apple's laughing at this.
Users eligible for compensation can claim up to $20 per device with a maximum of 5 devices. Okay. Eligible users should file their claims promptly to ensure inclusion in the settlement process.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely Google that and find the link for you. It'll be in the show notes and that this is attached to if you're listening to on the podcast. Otherwise, Google it and see, because $20 is $20. But if you've got 4 or 5 devices, that could be a nice meal or something.
Yeah, especially how many Apple devices do you have, Craig?
I've got a lot, so
yeah.
I haven't counted. So, wondering how to stake your claim against a tech giant? First, visit the magical portal Apple has set up. It's like entering Willy Wonka's factory for privacy concerns. Just remember, bring your documentation. Think of it, Siri's wish list of what it needs to make this right. Use the device usage history and any evidence of those chatty interactions you had with Siri to support your claim.
So I don't think there's a link yet, because I don't think that, maybe there is, but it hasn't been approved. Even though Apple has agreed to pay, it hasn't been approved by the court or something. And anyways, we'll have a look. If there's a link, we'll give you a link.
Yeah, and so understand that it might take a while, and for this all to kind of go through and everything to be sorted out. So don't hold your breath for this. But what do you think about, them listening and training? Facebook got caught with this with Facebook Messenger years ago. I can't remember what they got busted, like how much they got fined for and what their remuneration had to be. But, they're all listening to us. They're all doing different things. Like, I can't get Siri to do, when I call it out, say, hey, Siri, it never really responds. And then,
the worst.
And then I say something that doesn't even sound like that, and it starts talking to me. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And yeah. So, it's one of the things I turn off quickly, because I do the push thing to talk. You can tell it to do certain things, because there's certain things I use it for, usually setting timers when I'm cooking. But that's my most used thing for Siri. Set a timer for 10 minutes from now. Set a timer for 15 minutes from now. So that, I don't burn anything. But other than that, I don't use it as much, because I have other things that I use. And I don't know. I get people are talking to their phone all the time now. And do we really know what we're giving up when we're either talking to it or when we're not talking to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and users have taken to their platforms expressing everything from disappointment to outrage. Hey, when trusting a tech giant feels more like trusting an ex to keep secret, it's just no surprise. This has sparked serious conversations about more robust privacy regulations across the board, and how do we scrutinize these people, right?
Yeah.
So in light of all of this, it seems we need to be more vigilant than ever about our privacy. After all, technology should enhance our lives, not turn us into unwitting extras in a corporate documentary. Could this be the moment that prompts a new era of robust data privacy policies? Or will we find ourselves wrestling with our tech choices in a world where all our secrets can potentially be shared with an Apple server or a Google server or anybody else's? Keep those thoughts churning and let us know what you think. Are you ready to reclaim your privacy, or starting to feel like Siri is your persistent college roommate?
Yeah.
And you wanted to talk about this new one.
Not the RTX 50.
Oh, what is it?
Ah, yes. Okay, so I should have given you the link earlier. So yesterday, NVIDIA unveiled Project Digits. Okay, so remember that little Raspberry Pi looking AI thing that they released last month that we covered? So this is like this on steroids. So this is a desktop size system, which is powered by the new GB, the Grace Black Super Chip. So it's capable of running advanced AI models with, get this, up to 200 billion parameters, with the price starting at $3,000. Crazy, right?
Well,
so that's a great price. So
yeah,
you
absolutely.
can run the full LLM, any full LLM on this desktop, which is cool. And if for the stuff that we're talking about too, it might be interesting for us to do, because then we can run everything on this and treat it like a create our own cloud server kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, obviously, long term, it's definitely something good, but $3,000 is, is nothing to sneeze at. But for running all these things, like when you start to think about it, I would love to run all this stuff locally. And, again, for some of the work we're doing, it might make sense because we could actually drop it off into a client location, configure it, and this is your box. This is your AI automation box that does all these things.
Yeah. So let me dive in a little bit deeper into the details. So it aims to bring supercomputer level AI processing power. That's what it is to individual developers, which is cool. The system runs on the Linux-based NVIDIA DGX OS. So it's compatible with popular AI frameworks like PyTorch and TensorFlow. Also, users will have access to NVIDIA's extensive AI software repository, including dev kits, pre-trained models, and the NVIDIA NGC catalog. It also supports model refinement using NVIDIA's NeMo framework, and can accelerate data science workflows with NVIDIA Rapids libraries. I think this is a game-changing device. I think so. It's part of, obviously, NVIDIA's larger strategy to dominate the AI hardware market. And then I know that you originally had talked about the RTX 50 series GPUs. Just quickly to touch on those, they're based on the Blackwell architecture as well, which is cool, but the price is ridiculous. Have you seen the price of these?
No, they looked expensive, like $2,000 for one, wasn't it?
$2,000 for one. Yeah. Why not spend an extra grand to get that? No, I'm just kidding. But obviously it's for gaming, but
yeah, I did glance at it this morning because you sent it to me this morning. I was just did a quick look, but let's back to this Digits AI. This looks great. 2 Project Digits AI supercomputers can be linked to run a 405 billion parameter model.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and that's like the biggest models that there are out, well, that are publicly available right now. I don't know what's going on. This looks amazing, using the same Grace Blackwell architecture and the NVIDIA Enterprise AI software platform. So it allows them to prototype this and scale to cloud and data centers. And with more and more companies taking back the cloud internally, seems to, being an old IT guy, this goes in cycles, right?
Yeah.
Eventually everybody realizes that moving to the cloud just means somebody else's computer, right? So are they better at running it than you are? And eventually you bring it back and then you outsource it because whatever, different IT changes. I'm really excited about this. I wasn't at first because I thought we were talking about something different. But now that's all right, because you just sent me a brief text saying
let's talk text at like 5 this morning when I was at the gym.
But this looks better than I thought. This is great. I love the idea of running this stuff and I want to take a look at performance, because I looked at the performance on the other one and it wasn't too bad, the $250 one, but it wasn't great.
No.
And I can get similar speeds sometimes out of my Mac, but I need more RAM and whatnot. So you start looking at this, and if you can get good response and good speed, token speed response, hundreds of tokens per second, you're really talking about something interesting. And then if you add other things like graphics, doing image or video editing and that kind of stuff, where it's the AI is creating that for you or doing that, now you're really starting to talk about some interesting, powerful systems.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing automation tools for people that actually create videos and put them together and as part of an AI flow that does all these things, and it's pretty much AI generated. And throwing that against a tool like this would make the job so much faster.
For sure. Yeah.
So are you going to run out and get one, John?
I don't know. I wonder if it, one thing is, I wonder if it can mine Bitcoin. Anyways, I don't know if I'd run out and get this one. I might run out and get the Raspberry Pi one. This one might be a couple years. We'll have to see, but yeah.
Developers can fine tune the model with NVIDIA NeMo framework to accelerate the work. Users can also harness NVIDIA blueprints and NVIDIA NIM microservices, which are available for research. So this looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks interesting.
And we'll have to see when it becomes available. Did it say when we can buy it? Because, you know,
this year.
CES is happening now, but this year is 12 months, right? We're January 7th.
Yeah, I don't know. It just said it'll be available this year, I think. I can't remember.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see when it is available.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on, John?
Not much. I'm going to be at TBDC doing a lunch and learn, talking about the new changes to Shred. And then we've got January 22nd, Investor Drinks. How about you?
Yeah, Startup Investor Drinks in January 22nd is looking good. We have over 50 people signed up already. And let's face it, people weren't signing up over Christmas. And I only sent out one newsletter like yesterday. So it'll start filling up pretty fast. We'll be over 200 people in no time. So get your tickets before they're all gone. There's free tickets available. There's pitching tickets available. Go check that out. We're doing it on at the Firkin on Harbor. So it's right downtown, just steps away from Union Station if you're traveling by public transit.
Yeah.
And you help people with non-dilutive funding for their business and startups. Where would they go to find out more about that?
Absolutely. Come find me on LinkedIn, John Irwin. We'll post a link there. But yeah, if you need help with any non-dilutive funding, come see me. But if you need help with your business, with your startup, talk to Craig. Where can they find you, Craig?
Yeah, if you have questions about your business, questions about going into uncharted territories, go to startupcoach.ca, book a discovery call. We can have 15, 20-minute call, talk about your situation. I can give you advice. If you want to end up working together, that's fantastic. We can do more. I was talking to somebody just recently about stock options because they were bringing on a co-founder and they wanted to talk about stock options and where they were. And we went through the whole process of valuation, what happens when you bring in a co-founder, over the 4-year life cycle of value vesting for that, but not also the several rounds of funding. The one thing I pointed out is like, okay, you're going into this deal now, but you're actually raising money. They were going into their second raise, and you're making this offer now, but your valuation is about to get much bigger with the second raise, and you're going to increase the stock. So it would really piss off your co-founder if you say, okay, you get 15% stock, and that automatically 2 months later jumps to 7% because you just doubled your stock because you had to give a bunch to investors and whatnot. So keep that type of thing in mind. You have to just, it was a great conversation we had. So I just want to say, your stock, you have questions, book a discovery call. We can have a great quick chat. Just let me know when you book it, what you want to talk about. That gets my head in the game. But it's great always talking to startups, where they are and how to break through the problems.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, everyone.